Hello, Johan Söderström.
Hi there.
Johan, you work at Fieldglass, and for those who don't know of Fieldglass, who are you and what do you do?
We are a program software house that's originates from Chicago and was bought fairly recently by SAP. We are one of the world's leaders in terms of handling contingent workforce and SOW. That's mainly what we do. So we drive cost savings, we make processes more efficient, amongst other things. That's what we do. Yeah.
And I'd say that there is quite a lot of talk about contingent workforce and SOW. What is that? Can you let us know?
Yeah, absolutely. A simple way of looking at contingent workforce is everyone that is not hired by the company. So everyone that is not directly employed. That is the contingent workforce. That includes anyone that are within a project, for instance, result-based project. That would be the SOW, or that would be time and material, so sort of time-bought consultancy, which is the common thing to associate with the contingent workforce. But it's also another aspect of it, and that's the worker. We call it worker profiling. We do have something in our system that is called worker profile tracking, and that's capturing everyone else that has some sort of life cycle within a company. That is a demand that we see an increase of, to actually keep track of who's working for me and where are they touching our company. And this is especially relevant for global companies.
Usually when you talk staff, you talk HR, but when you talk about consultants, you might be talking about procurement. What development are you seeing there within your field?
I would say that different countries have different definitions for consultants. Some call it professional staff, some call it consultants. So across the board, I would like to say the really true definition is reverting back to what I just said. Contingent is anyone that you don't hire yourself. And that's usually a whole lot. So we've seen the whole workforce has gone through a paradigm, basically. My background is more from the staffing business and so on. And then I joined Fieldglass, and I can really see this. The trend is shifting. Previously, you were talking about probably 20-30% being contingent or coming from the outside to produce or manage your production or your R&D, most likely. What has happened today is that we see a huge increase. If we then add the projects on top of that, result-based projects, we are seeing companies that are touching in the vicinity of 70-80% being contingent. So if we put that into context, that would mean that 7 out of 10 people that work for you comes from the outside. That's great numbers. If we then attach that to a lot of global resource, then we can see, for instance, I think one of the big companies, institutes that looked for, okay, how does the company's wallet of spend look like? They said that a normal global company has about 46% of their total spend is actually on some kind of contingent and SOW. That's where we come in. That is where we look at those figures, and we keep track of what are the suppliers you use, who are working for you, where are they, all these things that not only are you legally in some countries bound to keep track of these things, but this is where the money is, to be honest. This is where you can do a lot of cost savings and direct cost savings, I might add. And right now we can see that there are different ways of running these types of programs. They can either be buyer-funded or they can be supplier-funded. In some areas, if I would look in the Nordics, for instance, which is my area, then supplier-funded is the way to go. That seems to be the business acumen. And what that means is basically that the supply chain pays for it. They pay to be a vendor. Normally that finances the whole program and then some. So that's how we see it. Yeah.
And what do you expect will happen in a few years?
If we're basing it, I mean, if we're looking at US and if we look at UK and so on, then we see a lot of the spend that flows through any type of staffing flows through programs. Those programs in itself needs to be underpinned by technology. It's not only a need for any procurement professional to know what it is. They should know how you use it and how you can actually enable some of these cost savings, regardless if you deploy a supplier-funded program or a buyer-funded program, because that's really the commercials on how you do it. So there are lots of gain to do, and in some cases I also see that for the larger suppliers they ask for this, because that gives them that they can rely on the market share. They can rely on processes that, okay, if I am a tier 1 supplier, then I can rely on the fact that I'm getting asked at least. No one else is coming into my processes. I can rely on that. All that rogue spend that we see, preferred consultants, where you normally don't have a chance to even competitively buy or compete. This is where we actually make a very compliant process. So that's what we do. That's who we are. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for shedding some light on this interesting area, and good luck for the future.
Thank you.